Hello and welcome to the GT vs. Super vs. the End of Z podcast. I'm your host, Anime, and with me is
Bob
from GigaBoots.com. We really appreciate you guys sticking with us on this. This episode, we're going to do something a little bit different. We went back and watched the End of Z because a certain co-host wouldn't stop saying things that he was certain were a part of that ending, which weren't. It is a very different thing from what he said, and we're going to talk about that this episode as well. But first, hey Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, I guess.
Doing all right?
Yeah.
I'm a little rough. My throat's like just a little sore, and I'm not sure if it's like allergies or like legitimately I'm sick.
It's always good for an hour-long podcast.
And a 6-hour live show the next day.
Oh yes.
I'm thrilled. But you know what I'm more thrilled about?
What's that?
Talking about the End of Z. Because we went back and we watched the last 3 episodes, which is every episode after the time jump.
Right.
Because
yes.
they kill Kid Buu, they kill Super Majin Buu or whatever, right? And then those events tie up. The next episode recaps it lightly and then goes, it's now 10 years later.
Yeah. 10 years. It's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those 3 episodes are basically about a tournament. It's the first one Goku's entered since the Buu saga.
Well, Goku didn't enter that tournament, so it's the first one he's entered in a long time, right?
Goku didn't enter the Buu saga tournament.
You're
doing it again. You're
okay,
doing it again.
Okay, he's probably
just fucking stop moving your mouth and saying things that people will be like, "Oh man, that's not how it is," and then I'll be like, "Fucking Bob, Bob makes shit up video games." Goku wasn't there. He had to babysit Vegeta's grandson on the moon.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Didn't they blow that up twice? Nah.
It's fine.
They didn't blow it up once. You're making that up, Dan?
Whatever. Goku's entering more tournaments.
He was like, hey, it's been a while, Goku. It's been 10 years. That's what he said to Goku at the thing. Goku was like, yeah.
Who said this?
The dude. You know, the dude who's always at the tournament.
Oh, the announcer guy. Okay.
I don't know. He's so permanent. And it feels like, is he in that? Like, I feel like he's more efficient. Like, he's secretly funding it.
Oh, yeah?
Right? Yeah. He's like that guy who owns the WWF.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, he does all those faces. He has way cooler shades. But in any case, we go to a tournament where Goku's like hyping up the shit out of this tournament. Pan's there. Yeah, Pan's 4 years old after that 10-year tie jump.
Pan, yes.
And this is 5 years before GT, and Super is way before this.
Right. So this has like nothing to do with Super.
And everything to do with GT.
And yeah, I feel like Super is almost certainly just good just about any of this.
/ everything after, yeah, which is really weird because it's almost like you retconned the ending of your last series.
Right.
You retconned your last series entirely, probably. You retconned the ending of the series before that, which was the series everyone cared about.
Yeah, but because I feel like that nobody, I doubt anybody cares about these 3 episodes set 10 years later.
People don't care about that. Harry Potter fans, you don't fucking remember Grown Up Harry at all. Your brain stopped recording when they did the time jump. You're like, well, I just don't even care who's in a relationship with who.
Look, when after the time jump was this bad, like every episode's so insanely slow.
Tell me how this differs from Harry Potter.
Look, I'm not saying it does. They probably shouldn't care about that either, but I don't know.
Bob's gonna tell you what to care about. 1, you don't remember, and 2, if you do, fuck you. Bob Video Games -.
As I said last week, it really doesn't matter. If they're going to rewrite it, they're going to rewrite it. If they have opportunity to make something actually interesting happen in that time jump.
I'm just saying there's something really funny about Super being like, GT didn't happen. Or the End of Z. Like, it's not even a statement. It's more like a tag-on sentence at the end of it. Just like, and also fuck that, because, you know, we don't want to write around that. Fuck that. That's what GT had to do.
Right. GT had to do that a little too much, it seemed.
Goku's redesign is introduced in the ending here with him being weirdly shiny and blue gi. Pan's introduced.
Yes.
I feel like there are quite a few things that this 3-episode thing at the end introduces, like Oob.
Yeah, Oob.
For example. And that's the whole point of this tournament.
Yeah.
The whole point of this tournament is Oob's going to be in it. Goku's like, he's trying to play sly about it for some reason. He's like, yeah, there's a reason we got to go to this. There's got to be someone real strong. And then everyone's like, Goku said someone real strong was gonna be here. And then, like, Piccolo and Dende are like, oh, man, did he just say it was Boo reincarnated? And then everyone else around them's like, wow, why is that guy so strong? And then Piccolo, instead of telling them, just looks smug.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of, like, the exact things that people make fun of DBZ for. Of one thing happens, and then we spend 17 times as long focusing on people remarking on that one thing that happened.
Yeah.
It's so filler.
It is. It's
really... Zeon was saying it's cut down to 2 episodes in Kai, and even then, I'm like, don't know how it justifies 2 hours.
Right. I don't know how it can justify 2 episodes. That seems insane.
2 episodes, not 2 hours. Jesus, kill me.
Maybe it's just all the Pan stuff, and then the tiny bit of the fight from the tournament. But I feel like even that.
But it wouldn't justify it too much.
Yeah.
I think there's way too much idle talking that's poorly written.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would like to note that Vegeta at the end, he's just like, oh, that Goku, he's gonna train. He's gonna train that Goku. You son of a bitch. And that's where we actually leave Vegeta's character. Because Zeon says a lot like, oh man, Super retcons Z's ending where Vegeta had a turn, you know, he decided he's okay being number 2.
Right.
He's okay being shit.
Yeah, I didn't get that feel from the end of Z. That probably comes up in GT.
It's literally when the spirit bomb occurs.
Okay.
It's literally when when Vegeta's like, we can only do this together. I'm okay that you're stronger. Let's just fucking kill this asshole. You know?
Right.
Also, but there's the self-sacrifice moment of the Majin thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Vegeta does kind of touch on that a couple times, but this is the real ending of Z. And I feel like he's like more like, you know, cop movie, yeah, you son of a bitch. That Goku's going to train. Oh, I'll get him yet.
The end of this whole thing is Goku going off to train Boo or Oob.
Yeah, well, he fights Oob in the tournament,
right? Just
to be like, I need to test his strength, and Oob like gets real powerful, real fast, but can't fly at all. Mm-hmm. Goku doesn't go Super Saiyan 1 even.
Right.
And then he's just like, you did a great thing. You're good at this. I pissed you off so you would fight me, but now I'm gonna show all my cards and be like, I just want to train you. And then they haven't even ended the fight. Goku just like lands outside of the ring and he's like, hey guys, I'm taking Oob and we're going away. And Pan's like, what the fuck, Grandpa? And he's like, don't worry, I'll visit, which he doesn't. Ever. So Goku's fucking terrible. One.
It continues to be the case.
The continuing tragedy that is Goku's adulting. And then Chi-Chi's fucking pissed, and all of his friends are fucking pissed. That's like a huge part of this 3-episode arc, is his friends are pissed that none of them have seen him in 10 years.
Yeah.
Goku's garbage because of these 3 episodes.
I think they said that they hadn't seen him in 5 years, insinuating something or they saw him sometime after Z. Only once.
I don't think that's the case. I think literally Krillin said, I haven't seen you in 10 years.
Okay, maybe it was just one.
Maybe you got a little frazzled because we were
there were so many time jumps.
We spent so much time in these 3 episodes trying to figure out like when it happened exactly and when GTU was relative to that.
Which apparently that's 5 years after this.
Yes, that's 5 years after this because Pan is 9.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense with how old Trunks and Goten were drawn in this. But according to Zeon, they are 21 years old in GT.
Right, which seems crazy because it seems like, I don't know.
They came off as a little bit younger than that, but I'm not going to worry about it.
Right, whatever.
So, Bob, how did you, before we get into the actual meat of this podcast, which is GT versus Super and Zeon's shit notes.
Yes.
Shit posting. Rampant shit posting. How did you feel about these 3 episodes?
I did not like them.
Was it the worst thing you've seen on this podcast so far?
Maybe.
Okay.
Like, it was really bad. Like, there is so much filler there. The content, like, what happened, I feel like wasn't as dumb as the episode 1 of GT, but it was just stretched over 3 episodes, and it made it just that much worse.
There's a lot of not talking and not things happening.
Yeah.
Like, slow pans of literally nothing.
You're right. And then the fight scene was just awful.
It was really fucking bad. And then the conclusion was even worse.
And it has that same thing it happens so often in Dragon Ball Z and whatnot, where they seem to forget how powerful they've made these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't see Goku do anything. Like, I guess at the end of it, he's like, I'm going to do a Kamehameha. And then they're like, no, wait, Goku, that's dumb. Don't do that.
Yeah, please don't blow up the everything.
Right.
Actually, it was that the ground literally shattered when he started doing the Kamehameha. So Oob almost fell out of the ring when that happened, so he picks up Oob.
Right.
To keep him from falling out. But then immediately after that, he lands outside of the ring anyways.
Yeah, because he just don't care at that point. He's like, okay, this is enough. Yeah, it's weird.
It's pretty dumb. Yeah. There's a lot of dumb that happens in these 3 episodes, and I honestly think it's the worst stuff I've seen out of everything, including today's episodes of both GT and Super.
That's fair.
I think this was the worst viewing experience I've had on this podcast, thus further reinforcing my frustration.
Also, the DVDs that Hail Xeon lent us, they zoom in on everything. Like, the whole thing's like widescreen and cropped for it.
Yeah, they cropped the 4:3 image into a widescreen 16:9, so it's super zoomed in. It's always centered. Like, they don't intelligently choose what it's cropped on.
Yeah.
So people's heads are cut off, people's eyes are cut off. You can't tell what's going on in some scenes.
It's miserable.
It's terrible. It's the fucking worst.
But I guess we should move on.
Yeah, we should move on. And never, ever, ever insinuate we know a single fucking thing about Dragon Ball Z ever again.
I guess.
Because then we might have to watch more of that godforsaken series, which I hope is better than these 3 episodes. I'm terrified that the majority of the original Dragon Ball Z, not Kai, but Z, is as bad as these 3 episodes.
I feel like there's no way. Maybe
we don't know.
Right, we don't know.
We don't know.
I'm going to just assume that's what all of Buu arc is, and then the rest is fine.
Good Lord. I'm not brave enough to make assertions like that. But you're not here to hear about Z. You're here to hear about Hail Xeon's
I see what
shitty notes. Here's first, I'm quoting directly. You can tell because the music is going. First, I'm going to clear up the confusion with the Black Star lore. Thank God. This is what I live for.
Yeah, right. That's what we wanted.
This series was founded for this moment. They were created by the nameless Namekian, who split into Daimao and Kami. And after Piccolo assimilated with Kami, he states that he is, quote, no longer Piccolo or Kami, but a Namekian that has long since forgotten his name, end quote. So Piccolo is now treated as the nameless Namekian that created the Black Star Dragon Balls, which is why they're active. This also covers the potential plot hole of why Piccolo never created his own set of Dragon Balls after rejoining with Kami. Because he already did, they're the Black Star Dragon Balls.
If anyone said that in the series, that would mean more to me. Is that it's just a bunch of like fan theories, basically.
No, they said he was the nameless Namekian. Moving on. Once again, we have no time.
Right, no
time to question anything Xeon says. He is the Dragonaboru Kami. You know?
Sure. Why not?
He's super knowledgeable and lives in a shithole by himself. And I guess aggro. So does that make aggro Yajirobe or?
I figured that he was
Mr. Popo.
Yeah. You know he paints himself black all the time.
Oh yeah, aggro's a huge fan of blackface. He put timestamps down here, and if these comments don't make sense without playing those timestamps back, that is all Xeon's fault.
Okay.
Right. Actually, we find out in Dragon Ball Minus. Look, man. It's right. Guys, don't let him know that we don't know what that is.
That's not a thing.
Dragon Ball Minus. That not all Saiyans are naturally violent. Bardock and Gine?
I assume that's Goku's mom.
We're good Saiyans, and that's where Goku got his good boy genetics from. I'm not kidding. Also, this is not canon to GT. Well, thank you for clearing that up. I think we know which series is better.
I guess Minus is that manga they did with his mom.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, it is the... What's the term for that? Whatever. It's that.
It's a one-shot.
One shot. Thank you. I was like, mini shot. Wait, no. Wait, what's Mega... Gun.
Yes, gun.
Mega Man's gun. That's all done. Yeah, he just fucking replies to a thing with the timestamp. Xeon, I can't read... At 2702, Xeon replies, so everyone pull up the old episode alongside the new episode. At 2702, that's all dub only. Goku recommends using the regular Dragon Balls to move everyone to a different planet, and Chi-Chi and Videl say that should be a last resort because no one wants to leave the place they're used to living.
Okay, so that's when we were talking about how Goku's an awful person because he was saying that he didn't want to do it. Like, he didn't want to go find the Dragon Balls. So that's a dub.
So how much of GT is really changed by Funimation's dub?
I don't know.
I'm starting to think we may have to watch with subtitles on in English.
Okay.
Yeah, so we could just engage with it on 2 levels.
Oh, no.
Which might help some of these episodes, as we found out today, with adding any activity. Of like, oh, there are 2 layers of things to read. And
I was like, it's not going to help us make sense of it. It's going to give us something else to engage with.
Also, if you think Goku is a piece of shit now, just wait until the universe survival arc.
Okay.
2741, the dub makes Kid Goku in GT a good bit dumber. In Japanese, he's written a little more immature as a kid than as an adult. 2938, Goten's character in GT is exactly what it was at the end of Z.
Which
it's
we
the closest.
Experienced.
Yeah, I mean, Goten's personality at the end of Z was, I'm Goku, but I look like Yamcha.
No, he was already like looking for the ladies.
That's true. That's very true. It's the closest he's come to having a personality. 3130, Bob's right, the ship only seats 3, and Vegeta suggested that Goten and Trunks go instead of Gohan. 3522, yes, Bra is younger than Pan, and yes, she's taller, blame that on Toriyama. See, I told you, she's got them shoddy genetics.
I guess.
I don't know where she got them, but she found some. 5618, which completely backpedals on Vegeta's development for the Kid Buu. He's just never gonna fucking...
No, I know, it's not gonna happen.
Okay,
that couldn't just be something that Vegeta said was in the heat of the moment.
5740, Bob, you gotta own up to what you said when your guard was down. Vegeta has to own up to himself.
Oh, okay.
He needs to confront himself. In any case, 5740, without spoiling anything, I will say that Super will both ignore and acknowledge the events from the end of Z. Good. Bob's actually referencing the time skip at the end of GT, not Z. Thanks for spoiling the ending, Bob and Zeon.
That's great.
I'm sorry, I'm not some shitlord who goes around just watching the ends of Dragon Ball
I
series.
don't know how I saw the end of GT, but I did, I guess. And
I'm
it was
gonna blame
awful.
Zeon.
I don't think it was.
How else would you?
I feel like it was before I even met him.
Did you LimeWire that shit? Did you Kazaa that shit?
Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea.
We're old, kids. If you don't know what either of those are, go fuck yourself. And let's see. If Bob wants recycled Z footage, then he backed the right horse in this race.
I can see that already.
Yeah,
I'm loving
episode 3. Yeah, I bet you are. I bet you're just like, oh, that classic flavor.
That's right.
There's a little bit left in my beard here. Bob.
Okay.
Finally, Zeon has shut the fuck up.
It took him forever. Jesus.
I know. We really gotta make a Google form that he has to fill out, and it limits characters.
More timestamps. None of that.
No, that's terrible and dumb. Zeon, you should feel bad that you did timestamps. That's unreadable garbage.
I'm sure that's good for the audience, but not for us.
It's good for the audience in the comment section of the first episode. It's terrible for how it's used in the podcast.
Yes.
Zeon has no showmanship, which is why his channel consists of a series of videos where he sits on couch wearing way too short of shorts and getting camera angles that are maybe not the best for his shorts, if you know what I'm saying. But at least everyone knows Zeon doesn't shave his legs. That's important. And we're all very deeply knowledgeable of this fact. But we're not here to talk about Zeon's calves and whether or not he shaves them. We're here to talk about GT and Super. Bob, we watched GT first, so I think we should do GT first. Bob cheated. He took notes.
I know.
Like a filthy cheater.
I know, cheating.
Can you hand me my Cefco 44-ounce?
Get some
delicious.
of that ice noise in there.
Okay, Bob, you took the fucking notes. You summarized the episode, and I'm going to enjoy this nice half diet, half regular Mountain Dew with vanilla.
Okay. Well, this episode of GT, they launched off in the spaceship in the last episode, if you'll remember. So now they can't turn it back around and take Pam back because she's stolen the key. And
for the automatic override.
Right, for the spaceship.
Or manual override, but yeah.
Right, so
so apparently it is a thing like we were kidding.
Right.
Where it's like, you hit the button, you say the magic word, and it goes to an automatic path.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the best idea if you're sending Trunks, Goten, and Goku into space.
Yeah.
At least Trunks knows what he's doing, but holy fuck, the other two don't.
Right, but at the same time, they don't seem to know where the Dragon Balls are yet, so where the thing is just taking them, I don't know.
We don't.
Then we cut back to Earth. Bulma finds out what that piece that was missing was that fell off at the end of the last episode.
What was it, Bob?
It was something that was, it was a stabilizer. So now their ship's falling apart.
Yeah, because the It was an integral part of a stabilization engine, and it literally falls off. Like, the engine falls off. That one piece was responsible for holding that on.
I took it to mean, like, the whole...
Wrong.
They made the whole thing shake more, and that fell off because of that.
Either way...
Whatever.
It could not retain itself.
Right, yes. It literally fell off of the ship.
It's just a fucking booster just rips off and falls into space. And you heard me correctly. It falls into space.
Okay.
They were really close to a planet that was directly below them perspective-wise.
Yes.
Even though they flew way forward to some other planet. The planet of pollen. Because it was shooting pollen off into space. That's how it was drawn. Don't blame me.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it was shooting green shit into space, and it didn't look like it was, like, actively energized, like, radiating. It just looked like a shitload of pollen was escaping gravity.
Look,
which is fucking dangerous. Don't
live
a gas
giant, and they're like, well, just have pollen on it, too, I guess.
And then they land.
Yeah, they land.
And it's a desert planet.
Right, which was... Trunks starts trying to, like, he guides it. He was able to guide it to a crash landing, even though he didn't get the keys from Pan. But whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine, like everything else. Mm-hmm. So they land on the planet.
Yeah.
True. And there people who live on this planet.
True.
And they're going to a market thing to try and find pieces for their spaceship to repair it.
It looks like the Middle East.
Yes, it looks like the Middle East.
People are wearing turbans.
And they're all trying to swindle them.
There's blue space Jews.
Yes,
I believe
that seems to be what we found here.
That's what it seems like, and it was a little weird that they were leaning that hard. But everyone's trying to swindle them. They're just shoving shit on them, putting makeup on them, wigs on them, feeding them, and then being like, "Here's your bill." And it's like literally dozens doing this, dozens and dozens of blue space Jews.
Right, and they seem to have a currency that they accept, and that's really weird.
What he's trying to say is our cast of main characters seem to have a currency that works on this planet.
Right.
Which they said the name of and clearly isn't Zenny.
Mm-hmm.
They just seem to have it.
Yeah, they just have the money for this.
And they're like, oh man, they're really giving us the runaround on these bills. And it's like, speaking of which, because like there's a line in the street when they get like... commerce raped by the blue space Jews.
Right.
They said something along the lines of, we'll put it on your bill. And I was like, okay, that's the gag here. They're just going to rack up a really huge bill. They're going to, like, I started thinking of it as an episode of Sliders at this point, where I'm like, okay, there was an episode of Sliders where, like, everybody was entered in a DNA bank system, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it was like your ID was your DNA.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, maybe there's something like that.
They're like crediting their account through their DNA.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just known public knowledge that these people owe this much money to these people. Imagine the blockchain, right?
This is going to be hard.
I'm already fucking lost, Dan. You mentioned a thing that already exists, and I can't even imagine it. Actually, that's a fucked up way to take society, so I don't want to imagine the blockchain being used to permanently indict people as owing other people. Because holy shit, you could do that, one. And two, holy shit, don't do that.
Right, no, it's bad. Oh, I wrote it down. It was Gamut is the name of their currency.
Gamut?
Yeah, Gamut.
Like color gamut?
No, it's Gamut. I think it's like a U instead of an I.
No, Gamut is a U. Gamut. Gamut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it is that.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
all right.
They've named dumber things after other stuff like Pan and Bra.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Satan, who's
he named after?
Christopher Satan.
Okay.
The guy who brought over Power Rangers.
Makes sense. That checks out.
Yeah.
That
was a pretty good diet Mountain Dew with normal Mountain Dew and vanilla soda. Could have used more vanilla, but...
So I guess that they pay those merchants, but now they don't have much money, and then they go to a hotel.
Yes, they go to a nice hotel, which has the robot from Lost in Space.
Yes.
In the lobby, and it's apparently the, what do you call that, bar hop? The something hop?
Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
That. And it takes their luggage, but it takes Goku's luggage, so it picks that up too, and eventually they just set him up in a room.
All right, and it's like... Goku's super powerful. He shouldn't be able to pick it up, but whatever.
Dude at the front's like, oh man, you were swindled on the streets, huh? That's unfortunate. Well, let me find a room that's just right for you. Every room's like a shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they stick him in like a
super high-end room.
Yes.
Presidential suite.
They assume that Pan and Trunks are on their honeymoon, and they give him like the fanciest place in the joint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it turns out the room's full of microtransactions because the bed charges you as you sit on it, and they have a little thing that goes up.
Chains Trunks down for some reason. Like that was super weird. That wasn't
really explained.
Yeah, because everything else in the hotel was just like
absurd, but could sort of work.
Right,
where
turning on the
Goku
TV.
opens the fridge and food just keeps on pouring out. Pan turns on the shower and water keeps on pouring out, and then they turn on the TV, and the TV keeps counting up money.
Yeah, and
all these things
are just counting money.
All these things have over the top. Like, it's almost like they should have had a label on screen that said satire or something, where it's like, oh man, look, oh, we're ringing up our bill just by running these things. And this was a moment where I was like, holy shit, those jokes in the first 2 episodes of the series came true. This is Sliders.
Yeah, no, this is like just Sliders, and that's not good.
This series came out around the same time as Sliders, but in Japan.
Right.
Did Sliders come to Japan, and can I watch that dub? Because, holy fuck, listening to the Japanese rewrite and then dub an episode where the whole idea is, what if the Russians took over America?
Yeah, no, sounds
beautiful.
Sounds pretty great.
So many layers.
Oh, man.
Bob,
so then we find...
people may not know what Sliders is. How would you describe Sliders?
Sliders is the series where every episode they travel to a different universe that has all the same actors, but it's a different universe. So usually we've been taken over by communists or Nazis or something.
Every episode has to come up with the writing of how this universe is different. It mostly focuses on that, not on creating a good plot.
Yeah, no, there's none of that.
I binged a fuckload of Sliders 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. And dude,
it's a nightmare.
That is a very enjoyably bad series. Like, it is so bad. That dinosaur looked like dog shit.
Oh my god, the episode where they had the freaking CG insects too.
Oh yeah. That didn't even compare to that dinosaur. I remember I took a picture on my phone and showed you later, and I'm like, now this is from a cell phone, so you're not even seeing the full fidelity of what's gone wrong here. And even still, you looking at it, you were like, ugh! But Sliders is an incredible series, and I'm thrilled at the revelation that Dragon Ball GT is just Sliders, because Halcyon also liked Sliders when he first watched it.
Uh-huh.
So I encourage him to go back and rewatch Sliders. Because he asked me, he was like, Dad, is it just sort of bad, or is this thing really as bad as you're saying? And I'm like, Xeon, it is so fucking terribly written that I'm laughing at it and watching it ironically. Every episode, it's how do the Russians get involved this time? So at least Dragon Ball it can't lean on that.
Yeah, it can't.
It can't lean on, the Russians. Because it's not America, but.
Right.
So it's planet, but. In this planet, the whole deal with it is that they have some sort of emperor, right?
They have some crazy dictator who charges
His
crazy
name's
amount for
Don
rent.
Key, and apparently he racked up the prices of rent. So all the people are desperate to make money off of people so they can support their house. And when they don't have enough money to support the house, their house gets torn apart.
Right.
And we see that as Goku, Trunks, and Pan stumble into a person's literally made of paper house.
Yes.
It gets torn apart by repo robots, and then they take off. And then they're like, oh, that's kind of sad. And then they start heading for their ship the next morning, or when it stops raining.
Mm-hmm.
And then this tiny little robot that's in the sand eats their dragon radar, and he's like, hey, give that back, because Trunks is upset. And then it's like, I can't, I assimilated it. And he's like, what? And then he's like, I can't give it back, I assimilated it. And he's like, what do you mean you assimilated it? And he's like, I assimilated it. Garo.
Yep. It was great.
And then he tries to run away, and then he runs away, and then they chase him. But they chase him like it's a fucking Three Stooges act, and they can't move quickly.
And Goku won't do anything.
Well, no, Goku did it. He got the thing.
Eventually, Goku just decides to actually do something.
Goku gets instanced.
And the rest of the time,
he joins the instance with the rest of them. He entered the zone.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, you guys looking for this? Is this what you're doing? And then they're like, we got him. And then they're like, oh man, but those repo robots took off with our ship. Because for whatever reason, they started towing away their ship.
Yeah, the repo robots show up to tow away their ship.
So they get Gudu.
And they just look at it.
Garrow.
They just watch it get taken away.
They get Garrow, right?
Uh-huh.
They got him, and it's like, oh man, this bastard ate our Dragon Radar, and now we got him at least. And then they look at the ship being dragged away in the distance. Like, it's on the horizon. They can see it. And they're like, they got away. And I'm like, what do you fucking mean they got away? Yeah. This really is some Sliders shit.
Right. It's just... This is what I remember hating about GT. They just ignore everything the characters have ever done.
Mm-hmm.
We just watched that into Z, and we had Pan flying around the world multiple times.
Yeah, she flew around the Pan flew around the Earth at the age of 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she just did laps because that's what her training.
She could.
Yeah. And now they see that on the horizon, and not a one of them's like, let's just go fly there and get it.
And there are so many times when they're having these plot-relevant discussions, right? Mm-hmm. That Goku's just not even saying anything. He's not even on screen. It's like they didn't even want to write Goku into this, because if Goku was in the conversation of, they're getting away with our stuff, he would be like, no, they aren't. And then he would stop them.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason...
Yeah, I just have to assume Goku just doesn't hear or just doesn't care.
With Goku not training Pan, maybe she got much weaker over the years. I mean, she didn't fly too fast or much in GT so far. She kind of flew at a reasonable speed upward at one point for that zany moment where they tried to kidnap her and then they bumped into Goku. Yeah. She hasn't really done anything that impressive. She kicked a wall and broke a piece of the ship.
Right. Which that was kind of impressive.
She can fly at all.
She beat all those other people that Mr. Satan had, but that doesn't mean much.
Yeah. She can beat up normal humans with guns, so could Raditz.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like none of this is over the head of what Raditz could take care of.
Yeah, Raditz could have caught up to that ship.
Yeah. Raditz would not have a problem with that. He flew around all of Earth too.
Yeah, that's true. So, and that's basically where our episode ends.
Yeah, almost nothing happened here. We got the introduction to this planet, and it was like, okay.
We got the introduction of this is what's wrong with the ship, which I feel took 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's Pan's cleaning the ship, and Pan's doing other stuff. It's zany that Pan won't let them get the manual override key to go back to Earth. And then they discover the part that's broken. And then the rest of it is setting up this planet like it's an episode of Sliders. So I have to wonder how many of these things are going to be 2-parters, because Sliders is a 44-minute long show, each episode. And this is already setting up to be at least a 2-episode run on this one planet.
Right. I have to wonder if because this seems like the ideal situation to just do a planet or episode of Planet, but they're not even... I don't think they're going to accomplish that.
See, that's the thing, though. It's having the same syndrome that Sliders did. Of really, you only have 33 minutes of content, which is too long for 22 minutes and too short for 44.
Yes, that's true.
And you could feel it in Sliders, I think by the end of this, we'll be able to feel it in this too,
Yeah,
I feel
I was
by
already
the third
kind of
planet,
feeling it. We get it.
No, you'll be able to see it in advance. Because you could do that in Sliders. It's okay, that guy just said he's doing something important. That person is really concerned about this thing. We're just going to give dumb bullshit to the next 2 characters who talk. And then fucking Arturo opens his mouth and he's like, well, I always wanted to make out with my old girlfriend, so I'm going to... And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And that's where we're going to get.
Yes, that's where it's going to go.
It's going to be great. I'm so excited.
It's still it's enough of a leap of faith to be they understand this is an inhabited planet. They understand the language.
Yep.
But then them having the currency, no explanation for that.
None.
Because I can deal with those first two. Those are two
Sliders too. Yeah. Sliders did that all the time. Where it's how are you guys spending money on most of these universes?
Yeah, right.
They would occasionally randomly decide that they didn't have money and that they did have money. There was one line in one episode that implied that sometimes they carry the money over in between universes, and it's with how drastically different most of these universes are.
Do you think the currency looks anywhere close?
Right? It's amazing.
Oh, man.
They also implied that a lot of Sliders is cut out and not real episodes, so they go to 37 versions of Earth that are very, very mildly different. So Sliders gets a lot of leeway with the you don't know what happened last time or next time.
Right, because they seem to even air it in the wrong order.
That's, man. Whereas GT doesn't.
No.
It's super spelled out. They came from Earth. Why would they have this currency?
Right. They're just in space. Why isn't this just Star Trek?
Why isn't this just called Lost in Space? They clearly wanted to make that.
Clearly.
It is funny that the first planet they land on has a Lost in Space reference.
Right?
Because they are sort of in a Lost in Space sort of like, oh man, they went into space and then their guidance system's all messed up and oh no.
Right.
So it's kind of. I told Bob I'm excited for every planet to be a direct ripoff of some established sci-fi icon.
Mm-hmm.
And I made that joke before the Lost in Space, robots showed up. I made that reference when it became a desert planet. I was like, we're on Dune.
And now I wish we were on Dune.
Well, I mean, that would be safer than us being in Sliders, wouldn't it?
It would. It really would.
Dune wasn't a desert, but Russians. So, point goes to Dune. You're better than Sliders. I don't know if the movie's better than Sliders. The movie's a mess from what I understand.
That's what I hear, but I'm like, it's got to be better than Sliders.
I don't know. I could see myself watching all of Dune and not laughing. Whereas, good luck even getting through a whole episode of Sliders without laughing really hard.
I feel like one of their political figures is the giant fat man in a diaper. So can you laugh at that?
No, actually, stuff like that, when that is your gag, usually just makes me really uncomfortable and grosses me out.
Okay.
I've never understood people who find that sort of thing funny.
Mm.
I don't know if weird internet fetishes has ruined that for me or man, there was an episode of CSI I saw back in 2005 or something where they're like, hey, you know what's an internet fetish? This episode.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, God, kill me. And my mom's watching it. She's like, do people really do that? And I'm like, I need out. And I almost killed myself that day. But I had the strength to carry forward because I knew someday I was going to run a shitty Dragon Ball podcast with my friend Bob.
Thank God.
That's what you guys need to do. You need to keep your head up, stay in the game, watch Dragon Ball, and then bitch about it. So, Bob, is this the worst episode of GT so far?
Yeah. Yeah, this is there's almost nothing that happens. It's all really, really dumb and bad.
Yeah, the first two episodes were really plot dense.
Right.
And then this is straight up just like the end of Z levels of not much happening. It's not quite there.
Right.
But it's approaching that.
It is.
It's getting there. Maybe we spend 2 more days on 2 more episodes of the planet.
Oh no, if they spend 2 episodes more here,
then it will be the end of Z.
It will. It will just be like, oh God, can we stop, Dan? Is this enough?
Is the podcast over?
Did it lose yet?
Total knockout.
Yeah, right.
Or technical knockout. Yeah, that would be pretty good. That's a pretty good rule set. If at any point we hit 3 episodes in a row where Super's better for both of us, we're just well, sorry. Got knocked out 3 times in a row. But yeah, I have to agree with you. This episode of GT, it's the worst one so far.
Yeah.
And it's the meat of what GT is going to be.
Right.
So my hope is that it gets ironically good, because I don't see genuinely good happening.
Right. Yeah. No, that's not gonna happen.
That bums me out a bit. I was a little excited.
Maybe after you finish this whole arc,
the
GT's over, and that's it. I don't really have anything else.
That would be pretty funny, but no, there's things after this.
I hear there's some sort of Super Saiyan 17.
Yes. Yes, it's true. Did you have anything else in your notes that you felt like bringing up about this episode of GT?
No, not really. That was it. We covered everything.
Cool. Let's go ahead and move on to Super.
Sure.
What happened to this episode of Super, Bob?
This episode of Super, Beers goes back to his home planet, and we get to see that. And I
saw that in the movie, though.
Did they show it?
Yeah.
I guess they did.
That's the only place they showed him in the movie.
Oh, right. But yeah, he goes back there. He apparently has some sort of oracle fish.
Yeah, which was from the movie, so, that's...
Apparently I need to rewatch this movie. Because I don't remember.
I feel like that might work against your ability to enjoy the first,
probably.
I don't know, 20 episodes of Super?
Yeah, probably.
That's what we call problematic.
It is. It was dumb that they did this. They should have just had that movie relevant, and then
as we slide into more and more redundant content, we're starting to really dip our foot into it. You know,
a little bit
because we're getting the
now Bulma's party's going on now, so that's also redundant content,
which is on a yacht.
Right.
I don't think it was on a yacht before. I think it was just at a tropical environment. So maybe this yacht's taking us there, but I don't know.
I don't think so. It sounds like this yacht's going to be just the whole party. It's going to be it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
But we did get the reintroduction of Android 18 and Krillin and
their kid.
Yeah. And that's all. We also got to see Yamcha, Chaozu, all those guys. So
how'd they reintroduce them?
They really just flew up and said, "Hey." Yeah, it wasn't much. It's a little there.
I feel like that's how The Force Awakens should have gone. Luke just flies up and says, "Hey." I mean, that's kind of what they did in The Last Jedi, except for it was Leia. Leia flew up and said, "Hey." She said, "Hey, stop blowing up my ships."
Was that before or after she threw her ships at their ships and made them all blow up?
That was before.
Okay.
She got really mad when they wouldn't stop.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, completely legit total spoilers for Star Wars. Sorry, everyone.
Definitely. We
really ruined that movie.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Not
the movie. It wasn't pre-ruined.
Nope. Not at all.
Let's just keep making fun of Star Wars because Zeon's fans are never going to let him live it down. So why should we?
Yeah. Then it goes to King Kai's planet where Goku's training, and
which we left him there last episode training.
Right. Yeah. So then we get a little bit more information with, we don't want, or Supreme Kai and I don't remember what the Elder Kai are talking about, how they don't want Goku to find out about Beerus because then he'll want to fight him, and then if Beerus fights Goku, he'll just go on a destruction rampage, blowing stuff up because the fight will be so extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was that? How was it?
It was. I think they did it pretty all right. I mean, it gives King Kai opportunities for jokes. So like when he's contacting Elder Kai, and
my favorite detail.
Yeah.
That Beerus was the one who sealed Elder Kai and the Sea Sword.
Yes, they do seem to want to show in lots of random little lore things. Like Beerus seals Elder Kai and the Sea Sword, and also Beerus tells Frieza to blow up Planet Vegeta.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, we don't need this. This is over-explaining stuff.
Weren't you and Zeon having a discussion just last night about every time a series tries to over-explain lore and stuff like that, it goes terribly?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did he have a counter to that, or?
I don't think that he was able to come up with anything where that wasn't terrible.
I guess I'm really interested if anyone can bring up. I mean, to be honest, Mega 64 did an all right job with that.
Right, but their lore is supposed to be a joke.
Right, which was weird when they did an all right job with it. It's like, that's an interesting twist. Okay, sure. And then they were like, we can't make another season. It's really expensive. I'm like, wow, there is no God, is there?
Right.
That's what it took. Mega 64 season 4 not coming out for me to be like, oh boy, I get it.
Now I get it.
There's no God. I'm just kidding. I do like Mega 64 though. I actually because of certain friends who let me discs, and then I watched them more than they did. And then Guilt sold me the discs.
Any friends of the channel in there? No way.
No one that shows up on multiple live streams that has been described by certain fans as a normie bitch. Nope.
Nobody like that.
No one. Just a random guy the channel's never heard of. That's who sold me. Force sold me 3 seasons of Mega 64.
But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot that happened this episode of Super, but I felt like what was there was paced well, and it didn't feel like GT where they're just constantly like, oh, no, don't. That's really dumb. Like, we basically explained everything that happened in that episode.
If we could have gotten through without them saying that Beerus sealed Elder Kai and the Z Sword, I probably wouldn't have any outstanding problems with the episode, but that is fucking stupid.
I'm honestly way more okay with that than Beerus being the one who tells him to blow up Planet Vegeta.
I feel like, right? This is how I write it off.
Yeah.
Offhand remark. Frieza's trying to suck up to Beers, right? And fucking Beers is like, I don't know, go blow up Planet Vegeta or something. And then Frieza's like, okay. And then he does that. Besides, in order to be more informed on that end of Dragon Ball, I feel like we have to watch Dragon Ball Minus or read Dragon Ball Minus.
I mean, it's only on one shot. It can't have that much info. Or
it's gonna have why Frieza did it, and it's gonna be politically oriented.
I don't think it will.
I think you underestimate Toriyama's ability to overcomplicate things.
I guess it's gonna be a little story about Goku's mom. Yeah. That's what's it gonna be. Do we now have to read that?
It's a good thing your tone's extremely facetious right now, because if it wasn't, if you're like, I'm sure, and you said it in a normal tone, we'd be fucked.
Right.
But right now we're fine.
Yeah.
So don't at any point.
I'm not gonna insinuate that I know what happened to that.
Good. Thank God. The last thing I need in my skull is more Dragon Ball lore. Okay?
Yeah, but here we are. Doing this podcast.
The Super episode was all right.
Yeah, and
I thought it was okay. The pacing was pretty good. Not a whole lot of action happened, and we started, as I said before, dipping our toe into redundant content.
But we didn't get a forced fight scene like we did the last two episodes, which I appreciate. We didn't.
I appreciate that too.
We did have at the end of that episode, they kind of cap it off with, okay, Beers knows where Goku is now, and he's gonna go there. It'll take him like 26 minutes. So he's on his way to King Kai's planet. And
can we talk about the 26 minutes?
Sure.
So Whis says it'll take us 26 minutes and 44 seconds in order to get to the North Kai's planet.
Mm-hmm.
And then Beers goes, man, that's the length of an episode of an anime.
Yep.
Not for that and the sword thing.
Look, I appreciate it. I think that he was being cheeky. He's a god. He watches anime. He gets it.
No. Only subhuman trash watches anime, Bob. Gods are above that. Jesus wouldn't watch anime.
Yeah, he would.
No, he wouldn't.
I know that guy. Jesus loves anime. Barry told me.
Yeah, I'm okay with a t-shirt that says Jesus loves anime, and it's him like holding two waifu pillows, but it looks like Buddy Christ.
So we sell it to the kids.
Yeah. What, Buddy Christ or the waifu pillows?
The waifu pillows.
Is that how we sell the waifu pillows, the t-shirt, or Jesus to the kids? We're selling the Jesus to the kids with anime.
Yes.
Let me tell you how bad that's going to go.
They love Ava. They'll eat it up, Jesus.
I don't think Ava is representative of the majority of anime. I would say Ouran High Host Club is probably closer. Let me tell you about the gay undertones of that series.
What, it's the 21st century. Jesus loves the gays, right?
Start a straw poll. Does Jesus love the gays? Go check it out in the description, guys, and be sure to vote. You think we would use straw poll for something relevant to the idea here? Which one's better, GT or Super?
Yeah, I guess we could do that. But no,
instead I'm asking them, does Jesus love the gays? And they need to go into the description and vote on that now. It's a very important issue. So thank you for your cooperation. Bob, I really don't know. This might be... I really hate the sword thing. Mm-hmm. I did not appreciate the anime joke. At all. I did not think that was funny. I thought it was really fucking stupid. And I don't care if it's meta. He said it. It's now lore that Beers watches anime. Yeah. Which makes zero sense when he didn't even, he's not super familiar with Earth other than he went there once to blow up the dinosaurs.
Right.
Which was in the movie, just to be clear. It's not an original invention of Super, the series.
Okay. Even though there are still dinosaurs on Earth, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. They clearly have their shit together.
He didn't do a good job.
And then when I blew up the dinosaurs, I also blew up the moon, right? Yep, you definitely did that. That's good. How many times is that now? 17. Yes.
Earth has 20 moons, okay?
Sure. Fucking every moon in the solar system is actually is around the Earth.
Every time somebody blows up the moon, one of the Supreme Kai just gets out there, he pushes another moon on in. We're gonna run out of them eventually, but not yet.
Guy gives a huge shit about fucking Earth. Clearly,
he really does.
Wow,
he's a really nice guy.
What a nice guy.
Yeah,
I'm really hoping at some point we end up in GT. Sometime in GT, I hope we end up on the Satellite of Love. That's all I'm asking for. We could just bump into Crow, Tom Servo, maybe just Mike.
Maybe.
If we just get Mike, I think I'll be okay. I just, if we're going to keep being sliders, if we're going to keep doing this, let's riff on sci-fi tropes. But not intelligently.
Right, being as dumb as possible.
Just show up on the Satellite of Love. Just do it, man. Chew toy in space. I want to see that. Make it happen. Whereas my hopes for Super are, there are none. It is just going to be the movie in 2 episodes.
Yeah. Soon it'll be just the movie. I mean...
And that's pretty miserable.
Hopefully it's different enough so it feels new.
At least
it's been 2 years since watching that movie, so it'll feel a little bit new.
To you?
Yeah.
I keep bringing up shit that's in the movie, and you're like, oh, okay.
Right? Good luck, Dan.
Lucky bastard. Why do I remember these things?
I don't know.
That's not fair. I'm usually really good at forgetting shit. Instead, I'm like, yeah, they made that joke in the movie. Yeah, this part's from the movie. Yeah, this planet looks like it did in the movie. Fuck. Yep, talking fish. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Pretty sure he's from the movie.
Was Goku wasn't training on King Kai's planet though, was he?
Yeah, he was.
He was?
Yeah, you remember Beerus shows up. Let me tell you what's in the next episode. Beerus shows up, Goku's on the planet. Goku's like, I'm gonna hit him. And then he's like, you can't hit me, you're not a god.
Okay.
Your energy level isn't even godlike. And he's like, meh. And he's like, I'm so angry, I'm gonna blow up your planet just for trying to hit me. And then he's like, no, it's okay, we'll hang out. And then they get a time machine and they go back in time and meet George Washington, Benjamin Franklin.
I feel like none of this was in that movie now.
No, but it's in the next episode. Joke's on all you assholes. I've watched both of these series. But yeah, Bob, is this the worst episode of Super? Is it the best episode of Super? Where does it rank in Super? Because you said that episode of GT is the worst episode of GT.
Right. I feel like this might be the second best episode of Super.
Okay.
Trying to remember, because I liked last episode.
Man, if you're having trouble vividly remembering the last 2 episodes, imagine 10 episodes from now when you're trying to remember what was the movie and what was the series.
Look, that's why we don't want to directly compare this to previous episodes.
Oh, okay. Is that a thing we don't want to... I didn't realize. I wanted to know when we hit the bottom.
Okay.
I'd
say that all 3 of these have been pretty okay. It's hard to rank them because they're not that much different.
Okay, because they're middling garbage and GT's ambitious. Is that why?
That's
GT has in its heart ambition.
No.
You're right. The series that had them go across countless worlds trying to find a brand new plot MacGuffin. That's not ambitious. What is ambitious is the series that remakes a movie, but adds shitloads of filler and jokes.
Yes. Okay.
That's amazing.
I can't say Super is ambitious, but GT's ambition is awful. It's only ambitious to make something really dumb.
Wait, what part of GT was dumb? I didn't see.
What part wasn't dumb?
Well, there was a part where those burglars kidnapped Goku, and then they fed him and took him to a theme park. It was really expensive. And so he flew away.
Okay. Oh man, remember when they had to use money on Earth and that made sense?
Yeah, I remember that. That was good times.
We aren't gonna get any more of that, are we?
Honestly, I'm sitting here and I am deeply troubled by that currency thing. That bugged me in Sliders. It was slightly sated by them saying that comment, like, good thing we saved the money from the last world. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's got to work at least one jump, right?
Sure, why not?
Why not?
Also, after watching the end of Z and being introduced to Pan like that, seeing what they've done with Pan it's kind of sad. It's like, well, she's just become really...
As we've established multiple times.
Yes.
Off the podcast and now on the podcast, her character at the end of Z is I'm adorable.
Right.
And she gets angry, and you think she's gonna fight, and then she just cries. And they do that joke like 3 times.
I thought they only did it the one time.
No, they did it absolutely twice.
Okay,
remember
they
when
did it twice because it was
at absolute bare minimum twice. I'm pretty sure it's 3 times. Whatever. We're gonna ignore the fact that you're forgetting all these fine details. It's almost like Bob turns on DBZ and just stops thinking. It's almost like this is Bob's version of drinking alcohol. He just wants to zone out. Is that why Xeon likes this so much? It's how he deals with the stresses of modern living?
Maybe.
He's like, I just want to see Goku punch something.
Why is he
Goku, punch something! And then Goku's not even on screen or an active part of the plot in GT. At least this episode.
Right. I worry that's where it's going to be like every episode.
Almost like they didn't want to write Goku into it.
It's almost
then
like
at the last second, they're like, write him in.
Goku's got to be in the ship. Make him a kid. It's like, Jesus, really?
Damn, son, you got some weird demands.
Right?
I don't know, Bob.
It could have been a much more easygoing space adventure with the B team of Dragon Ball characters.
But you need that Goku.
You need that Goku and you need that Earth destruction subplot.
Yeah, I mean, you do definitely need that. Otherwise, you're just flying through space for no reason.
There's always a potential of showing some reason that isn't that Earth will explode.
No.
That's
all of Dragon Ball Z and forward. Earth is going to blow up if we don't blink. That's everything.
Yeah.
Frieza's going to be immortal, and Vegeta's going to be immortal with the Dragon Balls, and then he's inevitably going to come back and blow up the Earth.
Right.
Raditz is going to take over the Earth and probably blow it up. Frieza's definitely going to do that shit by the time he met Goku.
The androids will...
The androids are going to kill everyone.
But they won't
Every
blow up
last
the
motherfucker, and they're going to listen to Dream Theater 24/7. It's going to be dope as shit. Bob, I'm of the understanding that Super's going to bring up future Trunks.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
That really bugs me, and I'm not looking forward to it.
I look forward to how insane that is.
I'm not looking forward to it.
I want to know how they even justify that.
My expectations for the rest of Super is really low right now. At least for the next arc. Because we're starting to get into, it's the movie.
Yeah, it is. It's just upsetting they did this, of remaking both movies. Like, I don't...
Oh my god, they remade both?
Yeah, we're going to have to do...
Bob, I haven't seen Super! Are you telling me Pink Gold Frieza?
Yes. Yeah, we're going to have to go through that too.
Christ!
Right?
Will we even...
I believe by the end of GT, we will get out of that.
Oh my god.
But we'll actually get out of both those arcs and get to the next arc. I think that's how...
Actually, Xeon said we have to pull in like some... we have to pull in a TV special from GT in order to extend it just barely long enough to make it to the end of the next arc.
Jeez.
After redundant movie stuff. See, when he said redundant movie stuff, I thought it was just going to be this fucking Battle of God shit. I totally fucking forgot Resurrection of F.
Yeah.
Oh, my lord.
Yeah. No.
This is the worst idea I've ever had. You realize that, right?
Maybe.
I miss Weeboots right now. I'd much rather watch a different terrible anime every week than just have to rewatch a series version of a fucking movie. 2 fucking movies I've already seen.
Yeah, I really wish that there was just a way that they didn't add stuff, because then we could just start at the other part. Just screw it. Don't even watch any of this.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be really nice. But oh well, this is what we're doing. Hopefully we're wrong. Hopefully they invent new interesting things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that police detective who shows up in the Resurrection of F movie and Halcyon's like, yeah, that's a Galaxy cop. He's introduced in this other thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, fuck. Why would you just throw that asshole in a movie? And he's not even in Z or Kai or GT or anything. He's in a fucking manga?
Yeah. Yeah, him and Vegeta's like nephew or something.
What?
I think he showed up in that movie too.
What?
Yeah. Maybe he showed up in Battle of the Gods. He showed up in one of them, and I had to look up later.
Vegeta's nephew.
Yeah. Right?
See, Bob, you can make up as much shit as you want about future episodes.
Uh-huh.
Because we're headed there anyway.
Right.
Just don't do it past when we have to stop watching this because we run out of GT episodes. Because then we'll have to watch way further in Super, and I'll kill you with my bare fucking hands.
But I heard that Hit moved so fast that he ended the universe.
No, that's DC, Bob.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know. It's hard to keep straight which canon you're talking about that's only enjoyed by normie dumbasses, but that's DC, not Dragon Ball.
Okay.
People watching this are like, he just insulted me. He called me a dumbass because I like Dragon Ball. And then they pause and then they think about it and they're like, I am a dumbass.
In DC.
That's what fucking Hail Zeon would do. You know? Like, I enjoy Sliders. I'm not saying it's a good show.
Right.
I hope to some extent he has that. No. Dragon Ball's the peak. Z stupid. Kai stupid. Everything's stupid. I hate everything. My name's Hail Zeon and I hate everything. That was a pretty accurate impersonation, right?
Yeah, it sounds like him. You nailed it.
Mix my voice with like half of King Kai's voice, and you basically have a Hail Zeon video. Here, let me man spread while I wear these short shorts and vlog about my nutsack. Thanks for listening to this episode of GT vs. Super. I hope we all learned a lot today. If you enjoyed this, you should probably subscribe and comment below saying exactly, quote, I enjoyed this. That's the only way we'll know if you enjoyed this. And after you do those, maybe back us on Patreon and, I don't know, spam us with comments. Be like, I'm only backing you for your dumb Dragon Ball podcast. That helps us figure out why people like us. And it's really helpful because as it turns out, if the podcast doesn't get any views and we don't get any support, eventually we have to stop it because we only have a limited amount of time. But I'm really getting off topic. What I'm here to say is thank you. GigaBoots has been brought to you by our Immaculate God King executive producers, Vincent Poverk, Cy Wolf, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Unit Number 2, Joshua Mattingly, Brendan O'Sullivan, Trouncing Trogdor, Starfalcon, and Spaceman Spiff. Thank you to all of our God King executive producers, and also these guys. Head on over to patreon.com/GigaBoots and become one of these names today.